Hi there, and welcome to the Graduate Researcher Know-How series devoted to academic style. I'm Jen Anderson from the postgraduate team in the Study and Learning Centre. This grammar-related unit focuses on linking ideas in academic text. In this workshop, we'll focus on sentence connectors and subordinate clauses at the sentence level and lexical chains at the paragraph level. The most common sentence connectors are and, but, and so. As you're aware, and is used when we want to add extra points or attributes about the topic of the sentence. But qualifies the previous statement, offering a contrasting position, and so indicates a summary statement, a summing up, or a resulting action to deal with the situation previously described. Pause the video at any time if you want to consider more closely or take notes. Here are some more sentence connectors. When we want to establish a list or logical order, we can use first, second, or third. We may want to establish an order of importance for a set of actions, for example. So we might write first and most importantly, or first and foremost, or also important, then less important, etc. We may want to highlight points of similarity between two ideas or methods. And so we use words such as similarly or likewise or in a similar way. Conversely, we may want to point to the differences between two statements using words such as whereas, although, in contrast, or conversely. Then there are the cause and effect or effect-cause chains. When we want to identify a cause or reason for a situation, we use words such as because. And when we want to focus on the outcome of a set of actions, we use connectors like as a result or consequently. Subordinators are used to connect a subordinate clause with a main clause. A main clause can stand alone as a sentence, and it has a subject and a verb and usually an object. A subordinate clause gives additional information. In the first example, the subordinate clause points to a contrasting relationship with the main clause. It starts with although. In the second example, the subordinate clause creates a cause-effect and temporal link with the main clause. As carries the meaning of both when and because. In these examples, we've reversed the order of the subordinate and main clauses, and this changes the meaning in terms of emphasis, because the point of emphasis usually falls in the first part of a complex sentence. Pause the video and look at these and compare them with the previous slide. There are 6 subordinator types. Comparison and contrast subordinators such as with, similar to, while, whereas, even though. Cause and effect subordinators, since, because, so that. Time subordinators, when, until, before, after. Possibility subordinators, if, unless, whether. And subordinators of place and manner such as wherever, where, and how or however. Another type of linking device in the paragraph is the lexical chain, the trail of key terms that can be traced through a paragraph to emphasize topic unity. Lexical chains work in 3 ways: through repetition, through the use of synonyms, or through the use of reference pronouns, this, that, these, or such. If you look at the sausage chain on the left, you can see how RMIT University can be referenced in a lexical chain throughout a paragraph. Here's an example that shows the key term repeated throughout the paragraph. We see learning orientation, or LO, developed as a concept through the paragraph in connection with companies and learning organisations. By the end, learning orientation is contrasted with marketing orientation. Pause the video and read more closely if you would like. In this example, we see synonyms or words with similar meanings being used. For example, the word each component is then referred to as each element, in much the same way that we saw RMIT University being referred to as a higher education institution in the previous example. Now do this activity. Observe two lexical chains operating together. The red chain is subordinate or attributive to the blue chain focused on aesthetics. Pause the video now while you read carefully and consider their relationship. Now we're going to look at the useful referents this and these. In the first example, we see firms qualified according to specific characteristics, for example, having up-to-date information on customers and competitors. Next, the same firms are referred to as these enterprises. If the paragraph continued, we might expect these enterprises to become a simple they. In the second example, we see the threat of contamination being stated clearly first and then referred to as a simple this, followed by a comment on effects. Pause the video if you'd like to look at these two examples more closely. How can you develop the skills to create effective lexical chains in your writing? Well, it all starts with reflecting on your own writing and how you go about it. Are you using connectors, subordinators, and lexical chains? Start noticing how other writers do it. There are downloadable discipline-specific activities beside the link to this video. Why not download a set and do the exercises? And finally, share your writing with others. Ask them to note whether your ideas are linked together adequately. These are the references from RMIT University theses. And these are the linking activities that you can download from the Academic Style homepage. So there's activities in medical sciences and aerospace, communication design, environmental science, engineering, and social science. Finally, our quotes for this workshop point to the importance of connection in your academic writing, not only for the content itself, but also for the reader. The first, from Umberto Eco: any fact becomes important when it's connected to another. And this, from author Carol Shields: have you ever looked at a picture or a great building, or read a paragraph in a book and felt the world suddenly expand and in the same instant contract and harden into a kernel of perfect purity? Do you know what I mean? Everything suddenly fits. Everything's in its place. Now, don't you want people to read your writing and feel like that? I certainly do. Cheers.